And benvenuti, fellas and bellas all over the world. Welcome to another episode of the Napoli Rant. I am Raf Biz, joined by my co-host, Vicar Vesuvias, Rafa Rispo.
What's up, Ralph Biz? What's going on, my man?
What's going on, Rispo? Good to see you. And hello to everybody in the chat, all our listeners on the audio podcast from Farver Vesuvius and on the replay. Thank you for joining us. Tonight we have a great episode. We're going to talk about a few games. We got to catch up. We had the Liverpool game, absolutely amazing game we'll talk about. I know tons of people already spoke about it already, but we got to do our rant. You know how it goes here. We'll talk about Spezia. We're going to talk about Queen Elizabeth even and how it affects us and the Rangers and our next Champions League game. And then going on to the main rant with Spalletti sowing his seeds and just watching this beautiful garden grow.
It's like a spring in the autumn with Spalletti, isn't it?
It is. It really is. And it's beautiful. And I love it. And I can't wait to see more of it.
It is.
But
it
shout
really
out.
is. He's cleverly planting his seeds there. Loving it.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. We'll get more of that by the end of the show. But hello to everybody in the live chat. Let's get this rant on the road. Napoli defeat Liverpool 4-0, right?
1-0. No,
One.
they got one.
4-1.
They got one.
Sorry,
well,
I forgot.
We're so used to Liverpool. We're so used to Liverpool coming to the Maradona and not scoring a goal. So, it's okay to mistake.
Sorry.
Of
course I have it.
We played so well, Ralph, that you forget that they actually scored a goal on us. It's incredible. And I tell you what, Ralph, of all the topics today, and I know that we have a laundry list of topics to talk about, is the one that I've been waiting for. I mean, I made sure today when I was picking my wardrobe to make sure I wear a European kit because I'm so Euro Napoli right now. It's insane.
Yeah, boy. Bank in Liverpool, Gerard Carter. But yeah, no, definitely. Because we showed up to the Stadio Maradona and we were ready to eat your Liverpool. 4-1.
Yes, we did.
Rafa,
yes, we did.
You were on a podcast. You were on a podcast with the Anfield Rap. You did a great show with Joe Fischetti on the Forza Napoli pod. Man, Liverpool only wins 2 games this season so far, kind of like Juventus. A lot of it would Klopp in the post game interview was all about Liverpool not performing as opposed to Napoli performing, and I think that's the rant right now. So just tell me how you feel about it all.
Well, so Rafi, the way I feel about some of the punditry, I mean, Klopp himself even said first and foremost, Napoli played a great game. Can't take anything away from Napoli. And, I would imagine, I said this on Joe's pod too. I would imagine all of these English pundits, talking about what's wrong with Liverpool rather than talking about what went right with Napoli. And it's only where you get to a neutral perspective where I tend to get annoyed where they decide to focus more on the Liverpool's bad game. But all in all, to be quite fair, I mean, I know everybody's seen it, but in my opinion, I think CBS did pretty good job in hyping Napoli up as well. The fact is that Liverpool is the bigger of the two clubs. They are the most popular of the two clubs.
Fair.
The league is the more popular league, and even though CBS Paramount is home of Serie A and they should be amping Napoli up a little bit more, I understand the reason why they have to focus on Liverpool, finalists last season, Champions League winners from 2 seasons ago or 3, world champions, that they have to discuss Liverpool's dreadful form as of now, right? And I mean, even Thierry Henry really hyped up Kvaratskhelia in
Right.
that match, and I think Napoli got some just praise, but I understand why they talk a lot more about why Liverpool is bad. Rather, I think, I mean, you'd have to, if you don't recognize Napoli's play in that match, then you don't know ball. And I think everybody recognizes it, but the story is
Hmm.
what's up with Liverpool. Because let's be honest, Ralph,
Right.
did you really think, like, even okay, I predicted a 3-1 on the Anfield Wrap and in my article with Liverpool Echo, but I didn't think it would be a 3-1 where we're totally dominating the match from start to finish, where it should have been 5-0 in the first 30 minutes, where it should have been at least 8-1. Like, you know what I mean? I didn't think that was going to happen. So I
All right.
I think more people, it's in the way Liverpool just couldn't get a hold of Napoli. And this story, there is a story there, but you're right. And I think that maybe people need to recognize that, you know what, there is life outside of the English Premier League. There really is, you
Really,
know?
yeah. No.
Yeah. So
I,
that's my
I
take on it. I'm not too mad about people talking about how Liverpool played bad, because they did. At the end of the day, let's face it, they did. They sucked. They had nothing going for them, but except for Diaz, the goal
mhm,
scorer, and he's the only guy that played any sort of balls against Napoli. But at the
right.
same time, Napoli was just like, I mean, it was flawless performance, man. A flawless performance by Napoli.
Though by damn, Bancarella needs to sell DVDs and VHSs of this match. I totally agree. I mean, no, Rafa, maybe you don't expect Napoli to win 4-1 against Liverpool, and I understand why the story is what's going on with Liverpool. You know, they were champs, they were finalists, they're a big team in England, so I get it. But still, I mean, the thing is, it's almost as if Napoli's been like, whether in Serie A, now the Champions League, we just seem to be the big underdog this year, and maybe
Mm-hmm.
for a long
Mm-hmm.
time. And you know what? I'm starting to be cool with that. It's okay. Count us out, discredit us, but when we surprise you at the end of the day, don't say we didn't tell you so. All right? Here's the
Mm-hmm.
deal, Rafa. Here's the deal. Every year, this is what I do. Every year, I donate money to Wikipedia. Okay. They send me a little message. Hey, it's
Yeah.
people like you that keep this alive. I donate money to Wikipedia so people can go and look up the history of Napoli to see exactly what we have done in the past 10 years, which is play strong. So please
Mm-hmm.
honor my contribution, go do some research, and maybe you can get a better outlook of it all. Maybe you can get the bigger picture, and maybe you can make a better prediction. Definitely the bookies should have went, and now the Liverpool fans should go. So that's how I feel about that,
Absolutely.
Rafa.
Absolutely, and I totally agree. But we can't harp too much on this Liverpool result. As much as I want to talk about it, I mean, we gave Anguissa beast of the match for that, and
Mm-hmm.
rightfully so. I believe that's the second beast of the match for him this season. Um, but anybody could have been beast of the match in that game. Anybody.
Right.
Kvaratskhelia, I mean, the way he bodied Joe Gomez. Um, Zielinski, 2 goals and an assist. Now we know he can take penalties. Osimhen, even for the first 40 minutes, hurt, injured, still incredible game, stealing the ball left and right, taking shots, distributing when he doesn't think he has a good shot instead of going for the glory. You know what I mean? And and then Simeone coming in and in the first 3 minutes just making Napoli fans cry. I was super emotional when he scored. I don't know about you, but that was a
It
freaking
was a big deal.
phenomenal moment, huge
No.
moment. And then it's funny because Ralph, we were on the halftime Discord, right? Which, by the way, was a great idea.
A
The
lot of fun.
problem is I had problems linking or syncing my feed to everybody else's, and it's tough to watch live because of that. So I had to get it out. Came in back in halftime, and one of the things I said was I hope Napoli just doesn't pump the brakes at halftime, because at 3-0, Liverpool has come back from down 3-0 before. And what happened? Boom. Went right after him, scored the fourth right away. Like something that we haven't seen from an Italian in Europe in a really long time. And I'm so happy it was Napoli that did it. Like I haven't seen a performance like this from an Italian team in Europe since Inter won the Champions League in 2010,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Right.
And I just thought it was an absolutely amazing performance. And, I got to tell you, it shows that Spalletti, and we'll talk about this later, but it shows that Spalletti really does know how to manage this club and knows what he's doing with this team and the people that are on it. Right.
Right. Rafa, I'm going to take one question about this subject because I know Rocco answered this question. Gerard Cafara asks us, you guys were talking about Ozzy taking PKs a few weeks back. Any thoughts after that miss?
Yeah, I wouldn't read too much into the miss. I think, it's funny because we said it here. And I said this on the halftime rant Discord too. I said it seems like Spalletti is listening to us in where whoever draws the penalty takes it. Zielinski's shot that ended up as a handball in the first 3 minutes, Zielinski took the shot and scored. And Osimhen draws the foul from Virgil van Dijk. He gets up and he takes the penalty kick and he misses it. So I kind of thought to myself, what is Spalletti listening to this show? That's pretty crazy, isn't it?
He might be.
But I mean, he might be, sure. But here's the thing. I always thought that it was going to be Osimhen. It was really boggling my mind why Osimhen wasn't taking the first penalty kick. But my thoughts about Ossie missing the penalty kick are now we now know we have Kvaratskhelia that can take kicks, Osimhen that can take kicks, and Zielinski that can take penalty kicks. These guys are practicing the penalties, and Zielinski as a natural leader of the team, right? Aside, D'Lo being captain, he took the ball and took, stepped up with it. So I mean, I also believe that Osimhen under pressure with 55,000 chanting his name, he's injured, he's not 100%. His foot was just stepped on. I think it just all got to his head. And even, like you said, like you mentioned too, Rocco as he was ready to take the kick, Rocco and I watching, and he said to me, Dad, he's going to miss. He doesn't have it in his eyes. And I said, you know what, bud? Yeah, I agree. I don't think he's got it in his eyes. And what happened? It was saved. So we read it. We read it full on. But I wouldn't read too much into it. I just think that, every now and then a player's going to miss a penalty kick, and I wouldn't give him too much grief about it.
Right. All things considering, putting all that together, maybe it could have been that reason, but who knows?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. 4-1. That's all that matters. Ralph, for one, don't give a shit about Osimhen missing that penalty kick. I, for one, am fine with it.
I see what you did there.
I, for one, would have him miss a penalty kick again if it means we win 4-1. So
I agree. He can miss all the penalty kicks he wants if we keep winning 4-1. No problem.
Right.
Speaking of winning 4-1 again, and speaking of Champions League, we were scheduled this Tuesday to play Rangers FC in Scotland for the second game of the group stage in the Champions League. However, we all know Queen Elizabeth passed last Thursday, and basically all of Great Britain is in a mourning. So because of that, and I found out some wicked information, there are a lot of mourning do's and don'ts. And one of those don'ts was Napoli fans, for one, not being able to travel to Scotland to watch the game according to UEFA's new rule that they came out with. as well as the game being postponed to the following day, which is Wednesday. Raf, I got a whole bunch of little information on this because it didn't make sense to me. If you want to say something about it, I'm gonna let you start.
Well, I'll tell you. Okay, I do want to say something about it. I don't see the advantages of Rangers getting the match postponed one day. Like when I first heard about Rangers wanting the match rescheduled, I thought to myself, well, when are they going to play this match? The the fixture list is already congested enough because of the World Cup in November. The reason why the Champions League group stage is getting done, 6 matches in 9 weeks instead of 6 matches spread out over 3 months is because of the World Cup. So when are they going to play this? They're supposed to have the group stage wrapped up before the World Cup break. But then I see that they decided to postpone it one day later, which, today is Monday, right? Monday the 12th. By the way, shout out to my cousin Daniele Meluzis. Happy birthday, 45. I just wanted to say happy birthday to him. He's finally more of an optimistic Napoli fan this season. I think that Liverpool game had something to do with it. But anyway, Auguri Cugino, I love you, buddy. But what is the advantage of moving the game one day? Like, I don't
There is
understand.
no advantage.
I don't understand. I don't understand. Like, okay, we get a little more rest after playing at 9 a.m. Eastern against Spezia, but we also get less rest to go against Milan on Sunday. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter because Milan have to play on Sunday too, but I mean on Wednesday as well. But I just don't see what the advantages were. I was trying to, like, security or mourning or what have you. I was trying to get some answers. I know there's a bunch of protests going on in the country too. But Ralph, if you got something to say about it, if you have answers,
I have a few facts and an opinion. All right. Number one, the Queen actually died in Scotland. She died in Ballater.
Sure.
All right, which was her the Castle Balmoral. I'm sorry,
I was Scotland home, right?
Right.
Yeah,
right. It was like her summer residence. All right, and she died there. Now the body the body today was moved from Ballater. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. If I'm not, please excuse me. The body had to travel south to Edinburgh, where it will be on display for the public today up until tomorrow. Then tomorrow, the body's going to be shipped back to London, where they will hold, I guess, their services over there. And the official funeral will be next Monday, September 19th.
Okay, because I was under the impression that the funeral was today. So I'm guessing I was wrong about that. And it's next Monday.
Yeah, there's a little bit of confusion. Get this. There's an operation. It's called Operation London Bridge. For the past 10 years, English authorities have been planning this death out, basically.
Sure.
Or planning out how this.
Right. She was born the same year Napoli was formed.
Right. I guess when she was 86, they were like, I think it's time we plan something. Yeah, you know, right?
Well,
so here it is.
To stop you really quick, I found out from Allie because, Allie's up on entertainment world in her field of work, right? She told me that, like, the royals and their entourage, I guess, have to travel with a black suit.
Yeah.
Just in case there's an accident or someone just passes away unexpectedly. Or if someone's dying, they have to prepare. But like, even if someone's not dying, so for example, if Princess Diana was still a royal when she passed away, I mean, obviously she was treated like one because she's such a figure in the world, right? Her entourage would have had to travel with black. Because once there's a death in the royals, you must wear black. Like in England, I guess, and this could be confirmed by somebody who's in England, they have to carry black with them in case, like say the news. A newscaster has to have an extra black suit in case there's a death in the royal family, as to where they can't they can't announce a passing of a royal unless they're wearing black. So it's like that, man. It's like there's so many different rules and
Rafa,
regulations
but
to this
either way,
whole
I don't
operation.
think aside from rules, Carmelo Francetta said, I mean, I put it up, I'll put it again. It's because of a lack of security. Now, you got to understand, I mean, I'm not sure the size of Scotland's police force, but I'm pretty sure the majority of them are going to be in Edinburgh on Tuesday, and Rangers playing Glasgow, which is probably I don't know, 6 to 10 hours west
The other way
of it. So if they're going to put all their resources in Edinburgh to obviously there's going to be a big crowd, I could understand why they're trying to postpone this game for security reasons. I kind of get it, because the last thing you want is some issue to break out at a stadium over a soccer game while people are mourning the Queen of England. So, they're trying to avoid any unforeseen or unnecessary problems. There is issues in Scotland regarding, there's protests going on. Some people want to become independent of the monarch and the whole nine. I don't want to get into the politics. That's not what we do here, but I understand. But now you're not allowing Napoli fans to travel at all, according to UEFA.
That's ridiculous.
And I don't get it. But here's the thing. In my opinion, this has nothing to do with UEFA and has everything to do with the Royals being like, you can't do this, and that, and that's it. All right. And to me, that's the way it goes. I don't think UEFA was like, oh, geez, let's just not let Napoli fans fly to Scotland.
No, I'm not. No.
That's something that comes from a higher authority, and they had to do it because, well, that's just the way it goes. So that's my opinion on that.
But that's not my UEFA is not on my shit list. UEFA responded to and is respecting Scottish issues right at this moment, right? I understand UEFA's position. I get it.
Yeah.
Right? And it just so happens that if the body has to be transferred from one place to another, and this security is necessary for tomorrow, then I understand moving it one day. But at the same time, isn't the whole country in a state of, or the whole United Kingdom in a state of mourning for 2 weeks? But that's where I'm coming from is there still going to be enough security at the stadium on Wednesday? Because everybody's still supposed to be mourning, right?
Well, yes. Listen, all right. It's not like for the next week or two, all of Great Britain is going to stop. Now, the day of the funeral will be considered a national holiday of mourning, so people will get excused from work and what have you. But the whole week process, it's just their process, I guess, to have the body travel, have people. I don't know the whole protocol. Now, it's not that everybody's, again, not going to just stop and not do anything for the next 2 weeks. It is their little process. However, I think the fact that the body was in Scotland complicated things for the British authorities, and that's why they move things. Now, Tuesday, the body's going back to London, and once that happens, I'm pretty sure it's going to free up the police department or the law enforcement authorities in Scotland, where they can now go and police the game. And I think that's the biggest issues. I think it comes down to resources and what they can and can't do. Having the body and everybody out of Scotland on Tuesday leaves them a lot more room to do things on Wednesday. And I think that's why it was postponed. And I do understand it. I just don't understand the no Napoli fan things. But either way, people bought their tickets. Now they got to get reimbursed. They did their flights, the hotel. So it really does suck.
Well, so
one more. I'm sorry. Let me cut you off. Rafa, because I want to respond. But I'm pretty sure the Scots won't be allowed to travel to Naples for the return game. Kamala says, and yes, because of this is fact. Because of UEFA not allowing Napoli fans to travel. In all fairness, now Ranger fans will not be able to travel to Napoli.
Well, then I think I will applaud UEFA tenfold if that's the truth. I did read about that. I don't know if it was confirmed. I guess Carmelo is confirming it for us, but if that is the case, if that's
it is the case, it is the case.
Then applause to applaud to UEFA for doing that. The problem now is people who bought tickets, airline tickets and hotel accommodations and made plans are without plans. So, what can you do when you have all the, now they have to work on getting refunds there, and it's the hotels suffer and the economy suffers a little bit too, and the airlines have to find a way to reimburse. In my opinion, I think UEFA needs to come down and say, listen, if this is what you guys want, Rangers, then you're going to have to reimburse Napoli fans somehow, some way. Like, you need to pay. Like, I feel like UEFA should not fine, but levy the refunds on the Rangers, and then
But
UEFA
that's not the
distribute back out to Napoli, so Napoli can
Rafa,
distribute to the fans.
I don't think why though. We can't blame the Rangers. I don't think it was their final decision. This came from the top. I don't think anybody had a choice in this matter. You understand? Not UEFA, not the Rangers, not the great people of Scotland, and not Napoli Dons. This came from a higher up. And so if you want to charge anybody, charge, King Charles.
Yeah, but he
needs to be reimbursed.
No, I get it.
They're the ones who gave the order.
I get it. But
and
what
just
though?
down. How are you going to blame the? I wouldn't blame the Rangers.
They're the Royals.
Yeah,
but they're not the law. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, as far as I know, they're not the law in the UK, man. They're just glorified fucking celebrities at this point. You know what I mean? It's not that they're.
That doesn't mean they don't have. That doesn't mean they don't have power.
They're respected, and they might have some power and influence. Fine.
Charles in charge. Oh, I love Scott Baio.
He is in charge. Scott Baio, the new king of England. Oh my gosh. Anyway, listen. Here's the deal. Okay, what pisses me off the most out of all of it is either Rangers or the UK or whoever you want to levy this on has recommended Neapolitans to not visit Scotland. Obviously they're not allowed at the match, but they still have travel accommodations and hotel stays. They are recommending Napoli fans to not come to Scotland. You know what I mean? Now, as far as UEFA putting the travel ban for Napoli fans, not a travel ban, but the away section is closed at whatever their name. I forgot the name of their stadium is. And in reverse, UEFA has decided that Ranger fans can't go to the Maradona, but that doesn't mean the Napoli fans with tickets still can't travel. It was a recommendation by Scotland telling Napoli fans you should not be traveling to Scotland. Well, the only way, if I bought a ticket, you're going to tell me, like my buddy Salad said, to not travel to Naples is if you pay for my freaking refund, man. You give me a refund. I need a refund. If the airlines and the hotels won't accommodate me, somebody's got to, or I'm going to Scotland to watch the game at a bar.
Weird,
it's
so
crazy.
weird. It's so weird.
It's
man.
crazy.
I don't get it. No, I know.
And listen,
maybe I was all right. Go on. I'm sorry.
I
might have been
no.
I might have been corrected in here, but I don't know.
I respect the culture, and I respect the the importance of this issue for some people. Other people just don't really regard this, and I'm talking about people in the UK. Like, there are people that I know closely in the UK that don't give two shits about this issue. They don't.
Right.
Like they're sad that an old lady has passed away. Death is never a good thing for anyone. I don't wish anyone passing away. Yet she was a 96-year-old woman who lived her life and had a glorious life, mind you. You know what I mean? So let's mourn her and let's move on. These guys have this huge process, like you'll never see this for a president here anymore. You won't. I'm sorry. I'm sitting there thinking to myself, oh man, if Donald Trump or Joe Biden died in office, would the whole country stop? I mean, it would, in a sense, but there wouldn't be all this mourning. You know what I mean? I just, That's my opinion. I'm just going to leave it there. I don't know. Whatever. It's only one day. We're going to watch it on Wednesday. It's fine. When they said postpone, I was thinking, postpone till like this 14-day, mourning period is over. When are you going to throw that in the middle of this busy schedule? I don't know. So whatever. So we play on Wednesday. So we kick their ass on Wednesday instead of
That's
Tuesday.
all.
That's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to look up the thing, but if you can send me a link, Daniel, about I saw that there was some type of statement from them, but I'm not sure. Again, I don't know if this was like a collaboration between all the federations and the teams, or it's just something that Rangers person. But either way, game's Wednesday. Like Rafa said, we'll kick their ass then. Whew. Speaking of ass kickings, or maybe winnings, but not too so ass kicking, we played Spezia this Saturday morning. It was a nice Saturday morning game. And in the dying minutes, win 1-0 with a goal coming from Raspadori. The game, tough game. And we can now deem this not too speziato, not too spicy, not too spicy. Rafa, man, we're going to have a beast of the match, but overall, let's just kind of like start from the beginning here real quick with the game kind of leading up into the goal. Napoli coming out the door. How'd you feel?
I felt good about them. I mean, they looked like they did sort of against Liverpool. I mean, I don't think they were as dynamic as they were against Liverpool, but they looked like they were pressing. They were pressing hard.
Mm-hmm.
They looked like they were very organized. I just had a little trouble in the final third. I thought the midfield was outstanding. I thought, heavy turnover.
Mm-hmm.
Another game where there was a heavy turnover. You had Juan Jesus starting in the back with Rahmani, in replace of Kim, and Mayuri went back to his old spot, replacing Oliveira from the Liverpool game. So, and then in the midfield, Ndombele started along with Anguissa and Elmas, which I thought was a little surprising. I thought Anguissa would get some rest for that one. And then in the attack, you had Raspadori starting instead of who I thought would start, Simeone. But Raspadori took the nod with Kvaratskhelia and Politano. So they lined up in a 4-3-3. They tested the 4-3-3 with Raspadori in it. And that was refreshing to see. I really was digging that. And I think that they all played a really pretty decent first half, man, with no real threat by Spezia. There was probably one or two occasions where they looked a little sloppy, but they had to tidy up, and they did. Napoli being, and I think they really kind of did a good job in pressuring Spezia in the first half. But Spezia are a pain in the ass to play against, man. They are, and we all know that from experience. And they got in front of every shot we took, every single one of them.
Rafa, 28 shots by Napoli, 14 blocked, 6 on target, 8 off target, man. I mean, like Dragowski had like a Roman phalanx in front of the net there.
Yeah, Dragowski pissed me off a little bit, man. He feigned injury at left and right. I mean, I'm not going to say he wasn't. He probably did pull up with something. But he milked it big time, a lot. And you can tell because the end of the game, he was really rushing through it, you know? But I don't know. I was happy with the first half performance. We made a change at the half, and then, we took care of business.
I was getting some of those vibes from last, December, especially when Mario Rui, sends that back pass towards Moret. And I forgot who was the attacker that was like right on his back. His name slips my mind, but was able to get his foot and almost lobs it over Moret, and then Rahmani came in to save the day and just kicks it off. I was like, and that was like in the 70th something minute, mind you. So this is like 70 something minutes of watching Napoli not score after all these shots, after all these presses, after almost 70% of possession, after all this domination. And then to see that, I'm like, if this ball goes in, I'm going to shit. I swear. I mean, I was like, this can't happen. This can't happen. And I was in the Discord talking to people, and it had ugly draw written all over it, man. And I was worried for a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't sure how Napoli was gonna score, man. And even with Lobotka coming in at the second half, and even Zielinski, yeah, it did change things up. You can definitely see Napoli kind of getting a little bit quicker. They were a little bit more creative. They were a little bit more faster. Their press was a little bit stronger. They started giving more and more trouble to Spezia, but Spezia just completely behind the ball. It's so hard to break through them, man. It's tough. It's tough. These little teams, that's why they're giant killers, is because they'll grind it out for 90 minutes. They don't care. They'll stay back there for 90 minutes. And Rafa, you frozen? I think Rafa's I was talking to myself for a little bit. I felt a little weird there. All right, I'm gonna remove Rafa real quick till he gets back in. But guys, I mean, come on. Did you not get a little post-traumatic stress from this game? Did it not feel like, oh boy, here we go again, man? Corey says their Polish defender was a beast. Yeah, I mean, possibly. Monza might be the only pushover in this league, Daniel says. Possibly. Scoundrel Pill. Crying. I think this is about Rafa. This is live TV, guys. This is what happens. But guys, I mean, so many shots. And I think, I was listening to Dom from Napoli talk. It's okay. We're listening, Biz. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that. I'm sure Rafa will get back in, man. And we have seen like matches like this before. Pasquale says definitely. But like, guys, I want to talk about Ndombele real quick in that game. And I kind of want to get your feelings, because a lot of people said like, oh, he didn't produce. Dom from Napoli talk, I was watching his post-game show. It was great. And he was kind of like, he wasn't going to get the pass. I feel like people have been hard on him because of maybe like the history that he had with Tottenham. People called him, people kind of knocked his work ethic and what have you. But I personally think he did okay. And Lobotka coming in the second half, mind you, he came in. He also had Zielinski with him, and the game changed that way. Lobotka did have way more touches, but it seemed as if like Rachmani the whole time was quarterback in this game, and he was kind of bypassing Ndombele half the time, and that's why Ndombele didn't get as many touches as I thought he should have got. But I thought he did all right. He was good tracking back. He was tough in the field. He didn't let people push him around, and he was able to take the ball forward. So I just like would love to get some of the feedback from everybody in the chat of how did you feel about Ndombele, because I personally think he did okay. Did he do great? No. Was he, was he going to change things? Probably not. But I think he did all right. And you have to put into the consideration that the team, we didn't even score till like, what was it, like the 88th minute or something like that. So even with Lobotka and Zielinski out there, it's not like all of a sudden we banged in 3 goals and Lobotka had 2 assists. I think he gets a hard time. Let me read. Daniel, well, first of all, Pasquale, hit that like button, guys. Thank you very much. Show us some love and support, man. We appreciate it. Daniel Ruggiero says he had a decidedly meh half, but was an improvement. It's why I won't write him off yet. If it's January and he's still meh, then oh well, it was only a $1 million loan. Fair enough. This is a fair statement. I will give him till January, but I think little by little, we should see him improve. So I'll give you that. Sean Sullivan says, Ndombele would find his own with us. It's a work in progress. Man has a legit talent for sure. I agree. Just give him some time. We got Gaetano. Put Gaetano in a little bit. Give him some minutes. I want to see him. I think he did okay. He had the assist in the game, but it was more like a whiff that ended up on Raspadori's foot to score the game-winning goal. So, Scoundrel Pill says he's fine. Lobo shared his diet. He'll be incredible by next half. Yeah, I agree. Remember this something, guys, and it was funny because I was looking back at an old episode. And it was with Dom from Napoli Talk. It was the first time he came on the show, and let me tell you, me, him, and Rafa, we were shitting on Lobotka for a long time. Don't forget that. Remember Lobotka in the Gattuso era. Nobody liked him. We called him Slowbo. We called him Chubby. We called him this. We called him that. Now we can't live without him. Now he's our hero. Now we praise him. So, can Ndombele do the same thing? Let's ask Rafa Rifbo. Ndombele, Rafa. Welcome back, sir.
It won't be a rant without technical difficulties on my end. I apologize, guys. I'm in the middle of fixing my internet issues here. It's embarrassing. But anyway, I heard you in the back saying something about we called Lobotka Slowbo and Chubby.
Yeah.
Isn't that pot calling the kettle black?
Yeah.
I mean, we're two chubby dudes from New York who are probably can't keep up with Lobotka. Look at him now. Like, you know what I mean? Look at him now. But Ndombele,
kind of ugly.
Yeah, that's whatever. But Ndombele, for me, I thought he played really well in the first half that he played. He was taken off for Lobotka. And I honestly, Lobotka is Lobotka. Lobotka, Zielinski, Anguissa. I mean, those three, any one of those three could really be, considered midfielder of the season this year, in my opinion. But Ndombele, I think, is starting to find his rhythm. I thought he played a really decent first half, and I think he'll get there. Yeah, I think he'll get there, man. Like it's all a process. Everybody's got to get integrated into their roles, and that Spalletti's thing is he's trying to get people, everybody minutes, and fair minutes. The few matches ago against Lecce, you saw Ostigard get his first match. Now you saw Juan Jesus get his first match of the season. You saw Gaetano come in for some minutes, and Ndombele gets a start again and does really well this time. So, I think all the new players, Raspadori gets a start at the number 9. Now for me, I want to see Simeone get a start. You know what I mean? So I think for the most part, Ndombele will find his niche. Like I said, improvement this past game over the other performances for sure.
Yeah. Well, that leads us, guys, to our beast of the match. I want everybody in the chat, tell me, who do you think your beast of the match was? Now, full disclosure, I made some nominations. I put it on Twitter. I wasn't feeling 100% confident. So I called up Rafa this afternoon. I'm like, Rafa, listen, man. I even asked Bonetti, but he didn't respond. Come on, Matteo. I needed your help, man. I needed your help, Matteo. But I called up Rafa, and I was like, Rafa, man, we started talking, and all of a sudden it clicked. I'm like, oh, no, it wasn't the noms.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the nominations, guys. Surprise, surprise. I flipped the script on you. Blame me. Blame Rafa. Blame us.
Blame us.
We talked about it, and all of a sudden I was like, that's the beast of the match. So here it goes, guys. Dun, dun, dun.
Yep, that's right.
Yes. And then I know what you're thinking, everybody. Why? It had to be Juan Jesus. It had to be Raspadori. Man, this was so hard. But Luciano won's beast of the match. And we're probably going to talk about this in the main rant, and it's probably why. But yeah, I know everybody's like, Scoundrel Pill, Mr. Calurba, nice. Gerard laughing. Daniel laughing. I know, guys. I know what you're thinking, but listen, Raspadori ended up winning man of the match. He got the game-winning goal. I think he really tried. But Rafa, I mean, this man right here started moving pieces little by little by little. And even though we still had a hard time breaking through, we eventually got the win. And this was from the decisions that this man made. So, and he got a red card for getting in the ref's face, which I thought was awesome. But
after the goal,
Spalletti. And I think the whole beast of the match and the main topic, it was funny because the main rant was already decided upon before we picked Spalletti. But once we started talking about the main rant, Rafa, when we started going over the details, we were like, holy shit, Luciano is the beast of the match. and it's
Mm-hmm.
because of what we're about to speak about. So
Yeah. So if you wanted to segue this into the next topic, into the main rant, um, I'd be more than happy to do that because
yeah.
honestly, the way he managed this match, like again, I touched on it earlier. The heavy turnover in the match against Lecce, where we drew 1-1, and it wasn't a favorable, result for us. It is an opportunity for us to look back and say what went wrong. Well, we drew Lecce early. That sucked. 2 points, missed. But that heavy turnover really helped us get along in the game against Lazio, and then the game against Liverpool. And now that we managed to get a win over Spezia after more heavy turnover, but the difference here is, in my opinion, is that Spalletti realized where he needed to make some changes, notwithstanding the fact that Tanguy and Dembele played a really, really good first half, in my opinion. He
Mhm.
decided we need to bring Lobotka in at halftime. Boom. Change number one right away. Last time Spalletti made a change at halftime in that I can remember was when he put Dries Mertens in against Udinese. We were down 1-0. We came back and won the match at the San Paulo, at the Maradona. Okay. So realizing an issue in the first half and making a change at the beginning of the second to start off, that right there was the beginning of Spalletti's beast of the match mode.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Not for nothing, but let's go into the first half, right? Right, Ralph? You pointed this out to me earlier.
Yeah.
When Dragowski was down with an injury, he pulled Elmas over to the side and was
Yeah.
telling him, listen, you're playing a little too much here. You need to play a little bit over
Mm,
there. You need to this, that. He spent a good minute and a half with Elmas.
yeah.
And what happened?
That
Elmas
whole break.
really kind of, yeah, that whole break. And Elmas really kind of got back. He made an instant impact, made this great run from the midfield and into the box, where his shot was blocked as well, and
Mhm.
really got himself, good touches and good movement. Something happened there, right? Then you have
He woke up.
Zielinski coming. Yeah. Then you have Zielinski coming in for Zambo Anguissa and Politano coming out in and Lozano replacing him. Okay. In the 57th minute, where Anguissa, protagonist of the season so far, he puts in another protagonist of the season in his place. Realizes, Anguissa does need that rest. 60 minutes for you, buddy. Come out. Zielinski comes in, and what happens? Zielinski makes things happen. Lozano, not so much. Again, I'm gonna let judgment on Lozano. I'm gonna let it go until I feel his bell isn't still rung from getting hit in the head. This guy's getting hit in the head 3 times a season, and I think it really does affect him. Plus, I think playing on the right affects him too. But at the same time, he also sent the ball into the middle, to between Lobotka and Lozano to get the ball to Raspadori for the goal at the end. Then putting in Simeone and risking Kvaratskhelia to come off with 23 minutes left, right?
Mhm.
But putting in Simeone to open up Raspadori, in my opinion. He put Simeone in and moved Raspadori to the left, and you could tell Raspadori plays a little better when he's either on the left or
Mhm.
behind a striker. Well, so when Simeone came in, I thought Simeone was going to go up front with Raspadori behind him, and they're going to do a 4-2-3-1. No, they stayed in their shape. Raspadori moved to the left and was absolutely a different player from then on. And then he takes out Elmas, who we just said is started playing much better after the 20th minute. In the
Mhm.
75th minute, and who does he put on at 0-0? He puts on Gianluca Gaetano.
Time.
Okay, hashtag play the kids. And
Mhm.
what happens? Lozano sends the ball into the box in the 89th minute, and Gaetano goes for a touch. Now, whether he meant to touch it the way he did or not, it's whatever. He gets the touch, so he gets credited for the assist on Raspadori's game winner in the 89th. For me, then Spalletti, who already had a yellow card, gets another yellow card for dissent because of issues between him and the Spezia coaching and the refereeing.
Mhm.
After the
Got
match, after the goal is scored, he's still not happy enough, because listen, you just scored a match winner in the 89th. You could really kind of sit back, shut up, take your yellow and be good. No, he's got to get his point across because he's passionate about what's going on the pitch. He doesn't like what he sees still. Boom. Gets himself sent off, but I think it was a positive send-off. Luciano Spalletti, baby. Beast of the match. Just what more can you say about this guy? What more can you say about him this season so far? So far, Spalletti has done it right, man.
Rafa, you spoke about it in the Forza Napoli. By the way, if anybody hasn't checked it out, I guess you can say it's old news now, but it's still worth a listen if you haven't listened to the Forza Napoli podcast.
News, nothing, bro. Old news, nothing. Anytime you can listen to that podcast about Liverpool and watch that Liverpool. I've watched that Liverpool match 4 times since it aired. That'll never get old, bro. That Liverpool match will never get old. So go ahead and listen to it.
No, definitely go ahead and listen to it because we look at Lecce, and I know Spalletti took a lot of criticism with that large turnover. He had about like 6 players new that he put in. So, but Rafa kind of alluded to the fact that like how much what that did for us in the future games against Lazio, against Liverpool, and yeah, maybe it was a bleak performance from. Against Lecce, but did it help us moving forward after that? Was a few of those extra minutes in these guys' legs beneficial for everybody? Maybe yes. Maybe you're right. Maybe you're onto something there, Rafa. So that's why I was like, man, I kind of started forgiving Spalletti a little bit because he has this task now. And I'm going to read this because Zach kind of said it too.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Same wavelength, brother. Same wavelength.
If he had kept Zach Arduo says if he had kept Cavada in, it would have shown a lack of faith in his bench. You can't burn out your healthy MVP when you have hungry guys waiting. Good coaching from Spalletti.
Honestly, and even doing it at 0-0, you know what I mean? Like, it takes a lot of balls to do that. And honestly, I believe in Spalletti, man. I do. I believe in Spalletti. And Kvaratskhelia is a great player, but if he's not, putting in the performance that he should be, take him out. Take him out after the 60th minute. Take him out, man. You want to rest these guys as much as you can. If you've got the bench that can get the job done, then you have to rest these players. We have no Osimhen until we come back from the international break. We have to make sure these players are getting enough time so that they believe in the project. You have to. I'm not saying we need to rotate every single match. What I'm saying is it's good to have a base starting 11 and then everybody else that knows their role and is comfortable in their role and that loves the role. You know what I mean? You have to have people buying into your system, and Spalletti is able to do that, I think. You know what I mean? We have, and that's the thing, too. Kudos on the scouting. Sean Sullivan says it. We finally have the depth, and Spalletti knows it, right? He's watering.
We got that, boys. We got that,
yeah,
boys.
we do. Oh, we do.
I want to read this from Dante DeSantis with I'm assuming you're a Juve fan, okay? But either way, we always try to play nice here on the Napoli rant. I honestly thought that Napoli were going to be in shambles after Insigne and Koulibaly. Yes, so did the whole world. Credit to ADL, even though I hate him. Yes, including the whole world.
Well,
and
Spalletti, a lot of Napoli fans hate him too, brother.
Yeah, for Spalletti putting in that work, props to you guys. Exceeded my expectations.
Thank you, Dante. Thank you very much. It's always nice to get fans of other teams, even if they are Juventini, to realize that, you know what, quality is quality, man. Listen, Dante, everybody was afraid. A lot of people really wrote this team off and, had us sailing into the sunset and it was over, where our European adventures are over. The consecutive streak of finishing in European places was done.
Yeah.
Because, it's like Bonetti said or Dre Cordero said in the broadcast, these guys left, these household names left, and now they bought players you can't even pronounce their name to replace them.
Right.
Yet now they're becoming household names within 6 weeks. And it's just
player of the month.
It's
covers
player of the month. Kvaratskhelia, player of August 22, man. Player of August.
Yeah.
First few weeks playing in this league, and he's the player of the month. I mean, what more can you ask for, you know? And something that Henry said on the podcast with Michele, his last podcast. You know, these guys don't even like most of the players don't have to worry about a World Cup break. There's some players that are going, but most of our players are not going to the World Cup, so we can use that time to like heal or to like rest and reflect. And you know, it could do us good. You know, I'm not a fan of the big break because you never know what's going to happen when we come back, but it could do us pretty good.
Yeah. Let's get a Forza Napoli going in the chat, guys. Man, I really can't wait till Wednesday now, Rafa. I'm very curious to see. I'm gonna get a little background music going on. I'm really curious to see what, you know, if Napoli can continue this form, and you know, these seeds that grow. I'm hoping, you know, Spalletti uses them wisely again. I'm hoping they can find each other, connect with each other. Spezia was a tough game, man. Like, not every game teams are gonna put 10 behind the ball. That it doesn't look at. I mean, all week every team had a hard time. Every top club had a hard time this week, and that was part of the reason too. So I'm still hopeful, and I think these guys are gonna find their form. I think these guys are gonna find their form. You know, gonna find their form soon, guys.
I think so too. That, you know, you got a goal from Raspadori, so now his confidence is way higher. You got to put in a full 90. Got the match winner at the Maradona. What more can you ask for? I mean, Simeone, his first 3 minutes in the Champions League, for Christ's sakes, comes in and scores, kisses the tattoo, mwah, right, and creates a beautiful moment. You know, mind you, first Argentine to score at the Maradona under its current name, right, under its changed name, was Giovanni Simeone. You know, he comes in and does his thing. Kim Min-jae, 2 goals, replaced Koulibaly just like that. Kvaratskhelia, a better Insigne. And, you know, and Dembele, that has to get, you know, the only guy we need to see now is Sirigu. You know, we need to get Sirigu in the mix a little bit here and there. But I tell you what, man, everybody is playing great. Napoli are the league leaders right now. Atalanta's draw with Cremonese early Sunday morning sealed the fact that we take week 6. We are the league leaders after 6 weeks. So it's ours to drop now in a big match, because it's Napoli, Atalanta, Milan with 14 points. And who do we play next in the league? Milan on Sunday. Big time. Big Tri-State Napoli meet coming up on Sunday as well. DM at @Tri_Napoli Club to get more details on where that's going to be. But they will be meeting for that. Ralph, I know you got to work. I'm trying to make it. I'll let you know. Working on something special for the boys too. We'll see if that happens. But there you go.
Cool. Alexander, Forza Napoli sempre from boring-ass Mississippi.
Hey, man.
Alexander.
I don't care how boring it is.
Alexander, you're Mississippi now? Oh, you left Florida. I can imagine going from Florida to Mississippi, Alex. That'd be a little...
It's all good. Mississippi is where it's at.
Buona settimana. Do by dad. Forza Napoli sempre, boy. I got to get some more pizza. But anyway, guys, Rafa, great show. Thank you to everybody in the chat as well as all our audio listeners, man. Really can't wait for this next game. We will be back next Monday, and I'm sure we'll talk about it all. But until then, guys, Forza Napoli sempre.
Ciao, ciao. Forza Napoli.
Ciao, guys.